A very good evening, folks. I said I'd pop on tonight, have a chat with you since it's been a phenomenal week. Being a Celtic fan, and look, it's going to be a phenomenal season ahead as well. So I said I'd pop on tonight, have a good chat about what's going on. We're back to league action this Sunday against Dundee United away, and look, it's not going to be a stroll in the park. Let's be honest. Dundee are a decent team, and okay, we're all still in the highs from last Sunday. We're all enjoying the meltdown of them not getting that penalty, the so-called penalty. They're still demanding this replay. We're not going to hear the end of this, by the way. This is going to go on for the next 2 or 3 years at this rate. But the most important thing is we came back and we done our job and we won the trophy. So yeah, so I'll pop on, get the comments in. Don't be afraid to ask me a question. It's been a while since I joined a live. I haven't done many lives in the last recent times, so I'm going to try to do more, especially going into January with the transfer window going to be open soon. I know we're going to be linked with a host of players. We're going to talk about Tierney on the channel. We're going to talk about Jota as well, even though there's no direct links with Jota, but we'll still talk about Jota. We'll talk about a bug has hit the Celtic camp as well, so there will be a couple of players probably absent on Sunday. Looks like Alistair Johnson's going to be one of them. James Forrest is out for 6 weeks as well. He's picked up an injury, so we need to go into the market and start recruiting, start getting players in. As I said, the only way that Celtic could mess this league up is down to suspensions, injuries, but we're not going to get down to that. It's not going to go down to that. We're in a great position, and all we can do is, he's out for 6 weeks. Rodgers confirmed it today in his press conference, so no James Forrest for the next 6 weeks, and Alistair Johnson could be out as well for a week. So I know sometimes we don't watch the press conferences because it feels like Brendan goes on forever talking 20 minutes about the opposition. And yesterday he was talking about he went to Dublin on Tuesday, just gone, had a productive meeting with Dermot Desmond about transfers and about the running of the club and also about the team. So I think, I'm excited about this coming window. I'm excited about getting players out like the likes of Stephen Welch. He's linked with a move to KV Mechelen in Belgium. I've said this so many times on the channel. I would like to see us move Welch on because we have better players in the air for our disposal, to be honest. Look, you have got Carter Vickers, you got Trusty, you got Scales, you've got Naroski, and Naroski, he wants a move as well. We've been linked with the Norwegian winger. I haven't looked much into him, to be honest with you. I'm sure we're going to be probably linked with Garden again over the next couple of weeks as well. But we'll see what happens with regards to players being linked to us. Look, there's going to be a host of names linked with Celtic, but doesn't mean that we're going to actually get these guys. We've been linked with a Belgian winger, Balagwisha, Michel and Balagwisha from Royal Antwerp, but doesn't mean we're going to get him. Like, I know Steve McGowan done a story on him during the week, and reportedly Celtic are interested in the Antwerp winger. He's only played 3 games this season because he was injured for 3.5 months. Picked up an injury at the start of the season, so they valued him at 10 million quid, and now they were looking to offload him for around 6 million. So we'll see what happens with regards to that. I'd like to sign him. We should have signed him a couple of years ago. How's it going, Paul? Hope you're well. It's good to see the numbers slowly creeping in tonight. Look, I'm that type of person, folks. I tell you that I'm going to do a live, and I don't do the live. I just can't be consistent when it comes to timing with lives and stuff. But over the Christmas period, I'll try get 1 or 2 lives on for even a half an hour or so. If I don't get the speeches till Christmas, I wish you a very happy Christmas as well. But I should be on. Over the next couple of days, unless this trouble gets worse. But I'd like us to see us spend about 20 million. Well, we might sell Berta Bay for about 6 million. If an international of Brazil are willing to break the bank, we might sell him for about 6 million. So you haven't been on much on Chris on not being on much of Christmas. Look, we're all busy people. We have family to cater for. We've places to go. We have things to do. People are working. It is what it is. Like at the end of the day, we're all busy people. But you know what? One thing we're not busy at doing, getting sick and fed up of laughing at them. It's just Comedy Central, the meltdown, the Willie Collum VAR review yesterday. Is what it is. You can't change it. And they have this hope because a team in Belgium demanded a replay and it got turned around. They think they're going to get that in Scottish football. It's not going to happen. At the end, I've seen a clip of a podcast where they're saying that we got lucky against them. Air shots were deflections, and it was deflected pass in from AJ into Keown. Taylor got the deflection shot. Maeda had contact on Balogun as well as ankle. All this crap from them, absolute load of shite, to be honest with you. And look they'll keep crying and crying until they think that they're owed something. They're owed nothing. They're owed absolutely nothing. Very encouraging press conference from Brendan today, especially in transfers. But look, if Brendan wants to be here for these full 3 years at Celtic, which he's halfway through his term now, his contract term, they need to back him. And I think they have backed him in the last couple of windows. I know the recruitment of the first window wasn't great, but we've obviously changed the staffing around. We bring in Paul Tisdale. He's doing work in the background. I know we haven't seen much of him even talking to the media, but sometimes silence can be good, My concern is, when do we play Sinsalo? That's a good question, actually. I think we'll play him in the cup. Look, at Sinsalo is there to get experience around this team. It's not always about playing games, and as much as we as fans we want to see that, it's about what they contribute as well in the training ground. And his time will come. He's here long term. Sinsalo will get his chance. And look at Bain. Is the only reason Bain's still here is because he needs to be on the homegrown player list. So that's the only reason. Scottish Cup against Killy. I think that's the 18th of January. So correct me on that date as well. Can we all talk? Can we all ban talk of penalties? I'm just sick of hearing it, to be honest with you. I know there's still channels talking about meltdowns and penalties like I just started there a few minutes ago, but it will eventually get boring until we get on to the next chapter on the 2nd of January when we pump them, and then that's a refreshment where we'll enjoy that time. But Sinsalo will happen. Just give him a bit of time, folks. He's look what's ahead of him. You've got Kasper Schmeichel, who's a phenomenal keeper. I watched the podcast he done with Ben Foster, and he seems like he's enjoying his time in Glasgow. And why not? I don't know if anyone's actually seen this top in the Celtic store or JD. It has the neck warmer on it. It's this like kind of neck warmer thing on it. So if he's wanted to see it. And then this as well for the Tums. I don't know if he's can't really see the Tums, but it's an absolute belter. I got it in JD because they had it in my size, so plus discount and stuff with the blue light. So yeah, it's brilliant. Forgot goals and saves. That's why I done a video on it, Paul. Done a video on the Davis handball in the Scottish Cup final, and then Conor Golson's save. They think it's all them. They're being bullied. It's a conspiracy with them that they don't get enough penalties or the referees are against them. It's a load of absolute nonsense. For years, they've been getting away with corruption when it comes to decisions. How's it going, Aidan in Crossmaglen? I sing a song with the bravest men. Hail from Crossmaglen, South Armagh. I've never been to Crossmaglen. Maybe one day I will go there. But folks, as you see in the bar there, if you want to join the membership for 99p, it will be really appreciated. It's basically like getting me a can of Iron Brew. In that case, Iron Brew is 75p in some places. It'd be really appreciated. And I know some people don't have the money. That's completely okay. At the end of the day, it's just about watching the videos. Simple as. telling your pals about my channel. Look, I'm different to everyone else. I'm very honest how I say things. Like I done a video there a few minutes ago talking about Jota. Jota is not even linked to our club, but I know people are going to ask me the question over the next couple of weeks. Would you take Jota back? People have been asking me about Tierney, and we're going to talk about these two guys. You know, Tierney's on 120 grand a week at Arsenal. Would I take Tierney back? I know he has his injury record there, and we'll go on to his injury record. To be honest, um, let's go on to Kieran Tierney stuff. Look at I know a lot of Celtic fans like to move on, and you look at we've had Fraser Foster back at the club on 3 different occasions, folks. So it's not the worst thing to have happened. A lot of people were against Brendan's appointment. Brent came back, and it's been a success. You know, I know Tierney's different because he has an injury records there of the last 5 years of hamstrings and groins, and he's came out and said when he was at Celtic the last time that he struggled for a third of the season. And look, I would take him back. Honestly, would take him back. I just think it's not even. We all want to see him on the pitch and playing. It's what he can contribute as a player, the leadership attributes. I've asked this question to my friends in work, and I've asked it to a few of my pals as well. If Tierney didn't leave Celtic back in 2019, would he be the captain today? Because he already had the captain's armband for a lot of games when Scott Brown was absent. Would he be the captain, or would it been Callum McGregor? There's a question for you. A lot of people don't like talking about. You know, KT at his peak was, you know, he was so at his peak, but you never know. You can bring him back and do a job. I can still believe he can do a job. Look at Rodgers has came out and said it today that he wants Taylor to stay on at Celtic, and he's hoping that his agent and his party and the club can come down and get a deal done. I like Taylor, but I think Tierney's an upgrade. The only difference between Tierney and Taylor is Taylor's more consistent than Tierney. He plays more games. You know, Tierney has the attributes to go get up that pitch. Imagine him and Moyeda on the left flank. You know, I think it's one of these things. If Tierney was to come back tomorrow and sign for Celtic, I think a lot of you just move on and say, look, just give him a chance. Give him a chance. Simple as. Give him a chance. You know, there's been no official bids because the window's not even open yet. The report is he's ready to take a substantial pay cut to go back to Glasgow and play for Celtic, and I don't blame him. If he's that much of a Celtic fan, he could do it for free, you know. But yeah, it is the fitness. To be honest, let's be honest, it's the fitness. But he has the whole package when he's fit, you know, and he's matured as well. You got to think about going down to England and winning a couple of cups with Arsenal and being in title run-ins and playing Champions League games with Sociedad and Arsenal and playing Europa League games. That would benefit him. Like, people don't look into that aspect of the game as well. Look, as I said, Brendan was asked twice today in the media, in the press conference, and asked by Luke Shanley, what's the situation with Tierney? He said he'd rather not comment on other players playing for different teams, which is respectful. But he's an admirer of Kieran Tierney, and, you know, the whole thing with Valley's a nightmare. I think it's just down to bio clauses with Barcelona, to be honest with you. I'm not the man to give you precise information on his contract term with Barcelona. He's on a long-term deal, as I know. I think they triggered a new deal a couple of weeks before he went to Celtic. I think it was a new deal to 2026, if I'm correct, or 27. So I like Valley. I think he's a good player. I think he's, you know, he brings something different. His pace, you know. Kind of reminds me a bit of Tierney back in the day, but obviously Tierney was more of a battler. And I'll be honest with you, I put the YouTube on last night. I watched Tierney's moments in a Celtic shirt, as some people are saying in the comments there. His peak times at Celtic. Some really good times. I remember that moment when he took about 6 players and then hit the crossbar against Motherwell. But just the technique of him getting that ball on the sideline, bringing it in, you know, making it his own. You know, some decent times. Look at left backs, right backs, they will wander. Sometimes it just depends on the management style as well. If they let them have that free roam of getting up. And you seen kind of last season that Taylor was playing more so as a defensive midfield, a left side defensive midfielder, than a left back at times. But we'll see. See what happens. Look at Tierney's in his final year as Arsenal, and I'm sure they want to recuperate some sort of money. Yes, they bought him from Celtic for what 25 million, but this whole conspiracy of he wanted to leave Celtic. He didn't want to leave Celtic. You need to watch the interviews. He wanted to stay at Celtic. And yet when he did leave Celtic and then the deal was done, he was excited about joining Arsenal. He was excited about a new chapter, as you would be. If you're getting offered 4 times the salary and you have to accomplish what you can with Celtic, go on to do a treble. It is hard to say no. And the club forced him out. Simple as. The money was right at the time and he left. There was 2 different bids before that. And, as far as I remember, the first bid was 10 million. And then they offered 18 million, and then they offered 25, and then we accepted the 25. And that's when we were playing Sarajevo away. And, Balangoli played that night. But, you don't, like, some people need to think outside the Glasgow bubble, folks, at times. I know that sounds like an insult, but I'm being honest with you. You have to look at the reality. He doesn't owe Celtic anything. He played for Celtic from the age of 7, youth level, up to 21. Up to 21 years of age. He won trebles with Celtic. He was an invincible. Brendan left. He 4 or 5 months before he left. He went to Arsenal, and he gave Celtic his best. And if you watch the side for the interview, he talks about him struggling through injuries to be a part of that success. People need to put that into their heads. Yes, it's in the past now, but like you go back to summer 2019, the abuse he got from some of the fans is just petty, absolute petty. Call them Judas, call them Snake, call them everything under the sun. Hurt. I know. Like when you get this attachment to Celtic players and they leave, it feels like it's a breakup in some fans' eyes. It really does. Like when Jota left, a lot of fans were greeting. Younger fans were greeting. When Tierney left, a lot of younger fans were greeting as well. Players come and go. It's a business. Simple as. When Larson left, it was heartbreaking stuff. It took a lot of Celtic fans 2 or 3 years to get over the whole Henrik stuff. Some of them are still not over Henrik, and I don't blame you. Don't blame you at all. KT is one of our own. We'll see what happens. As I said, time will come. Time will tell. Once that window is open, if Taylor, we can't. I honestly believe they're willing to pay 6 million to get Tierney and 7 million. A lot of people might say that's not worth it, but at the end of the day, what is us to moan about transfer fees? Well, there's money in the bank. It's not a case that we're putting ourselves in trouble here if we fork out 6 million for Kieran Tierney or 7 million for Kieran Tierney. I preferably not want to get him on loan. I preferably want to, get him on a permanent, because Arsenal give Arsenal a reason to extend his contract, even though there's reports that they've had that they went past that stage and that hasn't even been triggered or even there. So this is why he's on the market. So that's enough about Kieran Tierney. I don't want to bore you too much. We have more important things to worry about, which is getting back to league action. It's not even worrying; it's exciting. Getting back to league action the weekend against Dundee United. I don't even know where Dundee are sitting in the table. I think they're around 6th. Let's see. SPFL Premiership table. Yeah, they're 5th. They're 5th in the table. Right. So let's do this. Share screen. That's the wrong one. So there they are. Here's the table, folks. Looks really good. It's all green and white for Celtic. Aberdeen, as we see, that were good 9 points clear of Aberdeen. 11 points clear of Rangers. And then you got Motherwell in fourth, and you got Dundee United. And look at Dundee United's recent form. Win, draw, loss. And who's the loss to? Let's have a look. Who's the defeat to? Can't see it here. I'm looking through. Motherwell 4-3. Sorry, folks. 4-3. They got beaten by Motherwell in Fair Park. So, yeah, 65 possession that day, and then they were beaten. Was it a red card or anything like that? No, let me see. Why did they collapse? Just giving away silly goals. I'll have to watch that. I'll have to watch the highlights of that game anyway. But they're a good side. Tannadice is always a tricky place to go. We've obviously went there in the past and done all right. But yeah, see what happens. I think McCown will start on Sunday. I hope so. I like Lukey. I think Lukey's a decent player. I think you want players that play for the badge. And as I said, Tierney's one of our own, and Tierney could be one of them guys that we could come in and do a job. But Luke McCown, he's in my eyes, I feel like Luke McCown has done more of an impact for Celtic than Arnie Ingles. Look, Arnie Ingles is starting to get back into his game. He scored that penalty, obviously, in the shootout. Played all right when he came on. I think he played all right over in Zagreb as well. But Luke McCown just has it. AJ needs a rest. AJ won't be playing the weekend, I don't think. I think he's kind of still shaking in an injury. So it looks like it'll be Ralston on that right back position. And yeah, look, Ralston's not the most quickest getting up the pitch. He's a unit. He gets stuck in and throws his body at everything. But we'll see what happens with Ralston. Tony Ralston, eh? It's mad to think Tony Ralston, this Angers first season, he was outstanding. Some really good moments in the Celtic shirt. That Ross County winner, he just got stuck in. How's it going? What about good old Elvis? So my starting lineup for the weekend, I know it's a bit early, it's 2 days to go, would be Casper in goal, Ralston right back, Scales centre back with Carter Vickers. I think Scales played pretty decent when he came on the cup final, and that was a different opposition. And you know what? Liam Scales' first ever goal for Celtic was at Tannadice as well. He came off the bench. Left back, Alex Valley for a bit of pace up them flanks. Left wing, Deza Moyeda. Right wing, Nicholas Kuhn. I go Luke McKeown, Paolo Bernardo, Callum McGregor, and up front, Adam Ida. I think you play Ida. I think physicality, Dundee, away from home. Ida looks pretty decent away from home so far in the games he's played this season. Yeah, didn't always score in most games away from home, but I think Adam Ida, for physicality, you start him and then you can bring Kyogo on. I know Kyogo was a good record against Dundee United, but you could change it around as well. There's a strong bench there. As I said, we're going to be missing James Forrest. James Forrest is going to be up to 6 weeks with an injury. And then there's been a couple of bugs as well over the last couple of days hit the squad. And look, it's a quademic at the moment. There's loads of viruses going around and loads of people are not feeling the greatest because of the shift of weather. 1 minute we're in -2 weather. Next minute we're in 9 degrees weather. It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. So I think McCown would dictate the game. And look at McCown obviously played for Dundee FC against Dundee United, and he all knows what playing at Tannadice is about. So yeah. See what happens. Howard Milne says McCown, Ingles, and Bernardo in midfield. Ingles sitting back. Now you start Callum McGregor. You start the captain. You have to start the captain. Sorry about the sirens in the background, folks. Just the road I live on. It's constantly cars building up the roads, ambulances, fire brigades, all that crap. But no, I'd start Callum McGregor, and then you can bring Arnie Ingles on. There's not even talk of Rio Atate in the mix. Rio, the thing about Rio was he was sluggish in the game at the time against Rangers, but you could see the passion when he scored that penalty. It was unreal, absolutely unreal. So see how that goes. But just give me a second, folks. Just want to check if my flight to Dublin is on time tonight. Going back home, 6 flights this week. Flying back to Dublin tonight. Back to Glasgow on Sunday. Walking on the Monday. Flying back out to Dublin on the Monday night. Back on the Friday morning for work. Back over to Dublin on the Friday. And then back to Glasgow on the Sunday. 6 flights, folks. I wish I was going to the games. The Motherwell game on the 26th. But look, family are more important, Family are more important. So, yeah, I'll be watching it. Do me armchair support, As I always say in the channel, it's a treasure to watch our boys play and bring success to the club and win them honours, regardless if it's a pub or sitting at home or being at the game, just being a part of Celtic making history is unbelievable. People say from the back or from the outside, are you not bored? Are you bored of it, like winning trophies every year? No, we're not bored of it. If we didn't win it, you'd be criticising us. And when we win it, you say that our Celtic fans bored of it. We never get bored of it. Simple as. You can only play with the opposition in the front of you. If they're not up to the level, they're not up to the level. Simple as. That's not Celtic's fault. That's the opposition's fault for not investing in their team or not being hungry enough. Simple as. So, no, we'll never get bored of it. Casper, Valet Scale, CCV, Johnson won't be available for the weekend, Paul. He's meant to be out for the weekend, so it'll be Ralston, I think. I think it'll be Ralston. So, we'll see what happens. Just watch Brendan Rodgers' press conference after this podcast. That'll give you more of an indication of what's happening. So, anyways, I'm going to talk about Jota, a guy that could be on the move this coming window. Now, Jota is not linked with a move back to Celtic, folks, in any shape or form just yet, just to let you know. But there will be Celtic channels like myself, like other pages that will have that conversation about Jota. There's no harm having that conversation about Jota. And this is not a clickbait video. This is me just being honest. Jota's 25 years of age. He's been at Rennes since transfer deadline day in the last window. He's played 9 games, 1 goal, and they bought him for 8 million from El Etihad. And the reports from a big French sports football magazine, L'Equipe, if I pronounced it right, it doesn't really matter. He's not what I'm talking about. That Rennes are ready to offload him. Surprised with this, because at the end of the day, Jota has his career is just declined. You got to chase the money, and it doesn't always bring you happiness. Simple as. Now, look we all know what Jota had done for Celtic. Was box office. He was a good player for Celtic. No question about it. When he played on the right, when he made his debut against Real Betis, I can remember. It was Betis, yeah. Betis in the Conference League. Played that night. I remember Albany. Yeah, he scored that night, It was the white jersey with the pink pinstripes going down it. But Jota was class for Celtic. And Benfica were fuming that they had that selling clause to Celtic. And we bought him from him, I think it was around 7 million at the time, and we sold him for 25 plus. But I thought he was a good player. And I would take him back. I really would. I just think he could offer a lot to Celtic. If you get him in the right frame of mind, he knows the pressure playing for Celtic. He knows the squad. He knows the fans. He knows the occasions. He scored in the occasions. So, yes, there will be channels and pages that will be talking about maybe a Jota return. As I said, there's been no official inquiry from Celtic for Jota, with some reports in France that Rennes are willing to listen to offers. He was linked with a move to Turkey, and previously he was linked with a move to West Ham United. So we'll see what happens with Jota. I just feel sorry for him. But this is the risk you take. You chase the dream, and it doesn't always work out for you. So let's see what happens. Tierney left. Tierney didn't leave because of big money. Tierney left because the club accepted the big money. And would you blame him? Would you blame him for leaving for that? You know, like this malarkey of he walked. The club accepted the bid for Jota and for Tierney of around 25 each. These things happen. But just give me a second, folks. But anyways, folks, I'm gonna leave the podcast there. Better head off. It's good chatting to you, and hopefully I'll be back on tomorrow night for a chat which is leading up to the Dundee United game. We'll talk about recent results and talk about probably the starting lineup and other Celtic topics as well. So anything that comes into the mind over the next 24 hours that regularly watches the channel, dump it in the comments, and I'll speak to you all soon. Enjoy the meltdown over the next couple of days as well. So hell. Thanks very much for watching the podcast. Cheers.